Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Oh, thy peace, the God of my salvation, because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone, and it break a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make him man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rub and cheat, and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan! Make him a throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. My favorite man, if Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the them can sell out Rasta and sell it out and sell out Babylon. They give man throw one stone, and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see the dead can sell out Rasta and sell out, I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the Friday. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let them hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black. Big him and throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone, and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
Like any scandal and corruption that Prime Minister Andrew Holness presides over, this is just another one that we cannot take our eyes or lips off. We just cannot, because this one goes to the heart of our democracy, the heart of the life of our nation, the heart of how the system of governance and independent agencies works in our country. I continue to ask the question, who do we complain to and who does investigate? When the three major arms that you would look at to investigate the anomalies of the election, the ECJ, the Ombudsman, and of course, the Security Service, where illegalities may have occurred, are all under the auspices of the Prime Minister. The question is, who do we complain to? And who will be able to carry out an investigation to reassure the people of Jamaica that this election was won, not stolen, or bring to light to the people of Jamaica that this election was fraudulent, it was stolen, it was bought and sold, it was rigged. Imagine though, if the Jamaica Labour Party did not steal the election and lost the entire election, all I would have to pack up and go on home, you know. Because if it is just East Portland, they're having such a hissy fit over and really cannot get over it, then I wouldn't like to see an honest election where the Jamaica Labour Party lost the election fair and square. To the hungry belly people, no, not people, to the hungry belly laborites of East Portland, well, you deserve Ann Vaz. I mean, you can follow her over to the west. Like seriously, you can follow Ann Vaz over to West Portland. Because when I still go hungry, when I still go have white squall round on the mouth, when I'm still go frozen because I don't have water for bathe. So you can't go on over there. But we, the people of Jamaica, we, the people of Jamaica, deserve better than be held to ransom by a crooked and corrupt cronyized government who does not want to leave power in order to protect their corruption and the blatant money stealing from the public purse. Good morning and welcome. This is your program At a Glance. Thank you all for joining us this morning. We're still looking at the weeping willows of the labor rights, the weeping willows of East Portland. The Jamaica Labour Party, who have claimed to have won an election, but is in fear of really celebrating. What on earth could go so? Morning, everybody, morning. My eyes kind of diggle me through the computer this morning, so me can't go through the one name, except a one big old good morning from me. This is official September morning in our country when our children go back to school. And the old chain of polystick buses will be rolled out in rural Jamaica. What's to come? We will just might have to wait and see. Jesus Christ, TikTok can't go on bad, sir. All good morning, TikTok, hold on pan the message. TikTok, the lady just say good morning. Debbie Jervis, wagwan, you enjoy yourself. TikTok, all your good morning, Debbie. You know what TikTok so Limbia is in and carry on with them. Oh, all the labor rights, them reach over here already. I wonder if I start on a start report my page. Morning, labor rights. Oh, no, do. Oh, not getting the minimum wage yet? Labor rights. Next week, you know, when if you get higher pay, but take care. Take care of manager telling us say them can't afford to keep on any longer. Labor rights of East Portland. We shouldn't trust them to wear a condom. We should literally sterilize them. Labor rights in East Portland. Candy this morning, how you do? My moderators and everybody. Party, good morning. You know, all right? I don't think we should trust labor rights in East Portland or many places across Jamaica to wear a condom. We should sterilize them. Because what labor rights will continue to breed is a plethora of stupidity in our country. People who are unable to think. People who just go with what their masters tell them. Let me address Uno and Vaz first. Now, when you all elected Ann Vaz, you elect Ann Vaz on the promise from her to make your life better in several ways, whatever she had told you then. Being what you would call her, someone who's been trafficked, one could argue, to East Portland or to the parish of Portland, you may have thought that the dancing queen may have come from a great life in South St. Elizabeth. Shocked to tell you, Ann Vaz, white and pretty as one claim says she is, East Portlanders. She come from squalor like most of us in rural Jamaica. I mean, Ann Vaz grew up in a board house like us. Ann Vaz lived in a board house like us. She never come from anything. What she did, though, is come to Portland to gain something. Hasn't she gained an awful lot? At least the woman has gained prominence in our society. Something that don'ts don't normally get in our society. She has gained prominence. She has been given one of the top jobs in the country as a member of parliament to represent the people. She has been paid well. She has done well for herself, people of East Portland. Whether she promised you anything or not, that wasn't what it was meant to be. That you gave her an opportunity to really, really make her life better. The boathouse for Ann Vaz growing away, stand up pan block where you have to climb pan step if you're not careful for job for going, still exists. No matter how you see she going on and going on like. But what you, the people of East Portland, has done is make Ann Vaz's life much better. She has arisen from the shocks of society to the very top. Wife of a minister of government unable to pronounce revival. She has reached somewhere. You should not clap on a chair and say, well done for yourself, dear. You have done yourself well, which you, the people of East Portland, cannot say for yourself. We are well and we are much better off since Mr. Vaz came here. To the point, labor rights, and this is why I say must be sterilized because we can't just wear a condom. that you all, this woman has come to East Portland, make herself rich, become prominent in our society, which will never be able to get rid of this dunce for a long while. Her name will continuously be called. Even to say that when Ann Vaz was in Parliament for 6 years, all she said is present. Her name is going to still be called. While you, the people of East Portland, you laborites rather, of East Portland, you're still hungry, you're still lack of a job, you're still lacking water to bathe and drink. Shouldn't you be cheering her on? Look at how well you have done for yourself, my dear. But what you have rather done is plot to sabotage you and your children, labor rights. Jesus Christ, Jamaica. We ought to outlaw stupidity in our country. We ought to outlaw common dunce. You know, you have some dunces who walk on High Street, and then you have someone walking at the gutter. We ought to outlaw gutter dunce. Michelle Charles dunce, you know. She dunce too, but a little bit brighter than Ann Vaz and the supporters of East Portland. I mean, there's 15 of you or 14 of you that has lost your seat. Why Ann Vaz cannot walk away gracefully like the other non-performers? None of you all have performed. It is the main reason why the Prime Minister botched and stole the election. Because the Prime Minister was clothed with non-performance. Even the criminal Prime Minister Andrew Holness came out and told us that many of his MPs has not performed, even though he promised to give them a job description and hold them to it within a 2-year period. He has also failed to do that. So Portland people say, okay, since I thought we're going back to the dirty armpit. We're going back to the frozen armpit. We're going back to the hungry belly. We're going back to having no water to drink. We have to drink with pickle. That is what I'm hearing from the labor rights. What about your children, though? Don't you think your children would want to live the life of Riley as Ann Vaz and Darrell Vaz's children? Jamaica, we cannot continue to sabotage ourselves to make other people rich. You have all made Ann Vaz rich, East Portland. Ann Vaz, the first wrong move, people of East Portland, that you should have seen when Ann Vaz came there. Before she even, when she had run for the by-election, what Ann Vaz did was build her office on parish council property. That wasn't just it, though. Ann Vaz deliberately built it as an apartment where she could use it for Airbnb should she not win the by-election in 2019. That was the first wrong move that you all probably didn't recognize. You gave her and her husband the seat after they bought the Digicel phone list, canvas with it. After Darrell Vaz spent 14 million, tantamount to what Floyd Green spent in St. Elizabeth for this election. And you gave them the seat. What they continued to do is to remove parish council land into their private coffers. They have enriched themselves from the Constituency Development Fund. Like Ann Vaz's brother, who was her campaign manager, all of a sudden, he has security company that secure the Blue Lagoon gate, which they close off from you so you can't make a dime or a dollar. He has trucks and bulldozers and rollers and what's it or others. 150 million to win the 150 million to win the by-election. Councillor Shani Green, who worked on Anvar's campaign, who recently won her local government seat last year, swindled many of the public purse because she was dealing with a dunce, where she can just go to Anvar's, write up something on paper to Anvar's and say, I'm going to do this project. And Anvar's sign off on the money for her. Shani Green have insurance company, black factory, house building in Stony Hill, truck, my people. That's what has happened to your money over the last 6 years. Mayor Max, Land Rover, Mercedes Benz, even though I can't spell it. If you ask him to spell Benz, he'll probably tell you say BMW. Or if you ask him to tell him say car is a 3-letter word, spell car, he might go tell you say BMW. That's what has happened to your money. That's what has happened to your money in the last 6 years. They have bought themselves water truck to truck water to you that you have to pay them for. Something which all MPs promise you before get elected, I'm going to sort your water out. Have you had that water? But listen to how which plantation this? We don't know which plantation labor right upon, you know. But during our plantation era, during the plantation era labor rights, we used to turn up against certain things and stand up for something. What the labor rights are saying now, we couldn't give a toss if we see, but we're going to dig our eyes out, make sure with faith, look terrible, terrible bad. Labor, dig them out, labor rights. Just make sure when I walk with the no, I don't buck up in a way. Or if I ask you to lead on the way, I go lead on in a maca. Listen to labor rights in East Portland, who I would assume have children or is planning to have children at some point. But they are saying, we are willing to cut our nose off to spite our face. Has Isaac stolen the election? I don't hear you all saying Isaac stole the election. We know that Andrew Holness stole the election from the country. And we're not going off for rockers. Like the people of East Portland, who's planning to do all sorts to themselves. Because I know Isaac don't do it too, no. When I still go hungry. When I still go have white squall. And still I go have frozen arm.
Done with Isaac. It will come like he never did win him. I go carry the day mama push him on. Remember, say me tell you that. Yeah, if you think we done yet, oh, we not done. You know, so them have to go back to your blood clot oil pump. If your blood clot water commissioner say work hard yesterday, them have to go back for the oil pump. Yeah, because we're taking new pumps, so no worry, water problem just start. Because by the time we know the old pump, by the time next week it has broke down and water gone to one tree, they are full and right back at stage one we are go. Yeah? So you know worry himself. And we know what you know worry himself. The height that attack, we are gonna make sure that we are gonna keep track of everything because we are gonna bring him right down the ground. Because he not have no money. Yeah, we are all that when I big up himself, and all I promise them when I promise people, we're gonna start taking to social media now because we're gonna want them. Anything you see 1 month pass, I just say next month come and done. We can start go up on social media, the social media page them and all I promise is them we make we have those clippings and we're gonna make sure it's for the rest of 4 years. All of them we're gonna hold him to them as labor right. So you know what he said. Don't make promises that can't keep, and we're gonna make sure of that. And anytime you see him circle long, we may make sure my friend and go back river. But if I the land, the dirty, the clear mud there, and we are going to do like what it happened the last time. I mean, we see we no plan scene. When we go back river, we find even dynamite. We are going to go dynamite clear mud. And make clear mud, we run in a grand again nearly 2 years. Watch we on him. And make him find resolution the people get clean pipe water. Watch we on Mr. Isaac. So if you feel like say you might have a nice run here, tell him say get ready because it's going to be a rugged roller coaster scene.
Anyone knows the voice in the voice note? Somebody at East Portland knows this voice. This is planned terrorism for a community. Terrorizing you through water. Remember when how the British conquered many places around the world because they never have the high-powered rifle and all that. Then, as the Department of War in Britain and America would have known, they used to poison the water stream, contaminate the water stream, contaminate materials such as blankets and all that jazz. It's the same British colonial mentality operating in its dunce and docile state. For Britain, it was a strategy to conquer people. But for the labor rights of East Portland, it's a strategy to conquer even themselves. That's why Mr. We sterilize labor rights in our country. We can't make labor rights continue to have these docile children who are willing to stab themselves and bawl out, say, whoa, look how him just stabbed me. They are planning to contaminate the water. They have alleged that they've removed the pump. Because if you don't notice the truck, the mall truck, them and the bulldozer and the roller them will pack up and leave out of East Portland are not parish council belongings. These are the things that Anvar's brother, Anvar's, Tanique Green, and all those people have used your taxpayer money to enrich themselves. So every little contract you have to do something, them are the same one get back that contract after they have stolen from you. Are you then keeping from and enrich themselves by setting up themselves with certain level of assets, and you still have to come back to do business with them, which they have secured for themselves out of your taxpayer money. So what that also does, it cut out the independent man that should be getting contract with government rather than government workers giving contract to themselves. This is what was going on in East Portland. This is why Anvars take your taxpayer money by water truck, and then you have to buy back water from Anvars. I wonder if the pump that they remove, I hope for money by Anvars. When I go and play with Isaac McCannan, is the last person when I go play with and get away with it. Is the last dege person when I go play with and get away with it. We want an investigation in our election. Just like how East Portland people have hissy fit over genuine loss, we can have hissy fit over genuine steal as well. Stop that steal. Stop that steal. Because we know our election was stolen. We know voters were suppressed. We know voters were disenfranchised. We know there's lots of unexplained things happen on the counting night where the entire nation, and this is the second time in 2 years, this has been done. You remember in the local government of last year, that franchise was bought by Cliff Hughes and he was announcing the general election. Everybody was broadcasting from what Cliff Hughes was broadcasting. And because Cliff Hughes, as what the exit poll suggests, call, rightly so, the local government election for the People's National Party. You remembered before 10 p.m., with the counting still ongoing, the Prime Minister ordered Cliff Hughes to come off air. Come off air, Cliff Hughes did. And ever since, we have been in confusion as to the local government election. The Prime Minister took more drastic measures in this election just gone last week. What the Prime Minister and the Minister of Technology and Telecommunications and all that brouhaha put the entire nation offline. TV station just drop off a line, so everybody just drop off a line. So except for we in a foreign where we internet never affected. And then when things come back up, there was a drastic change in result, particular in the Prime Minister's constituency. Drastic changes. We need an investigation. Even Cafe is saying 21% of the polling station they monitored, people were deliberately, I'm adding the word deliberately, prevented from voting in violation of the Representation of the Persons Act, which once you're in line before 5 p.m., you're entitled to vote. Many people were denied that. How could an election be free and fair if the people were disenfranchised from the security forces voting, right down to the general populace voting? People were disenfranchised. People were, what you call that word? When you keep people hanging on, oh God, what you call the word again? But I don't know what me attack. Because of that new system that they were testing, could that be a deliberate ploy to hold up the election suppression and to throw people off? So we need an investigation, and we're not going to stop. And we hope the People's National Party isn't going to take this with silence, because right across Jamaica, people are speaking up. The level of vote buying was like a go-go shop. Because you know, it's a go-go shop, a legal thing in our country. The level of vote buying was like going to a go-go shop. You know, the Prime Minister go-go shop regular. People all over the country finger were inked before Wednesday morning. Especially on a hungry belly PNP, especially on young boys. Because only upon a hungry belly PNP have one finger ink by the labor rights them from Tuesday night. Someone who just for $15,000 or $30,000. If we don't have children at go to school, it can't last for 1 week. If you live in a family, it can't carry you go to supermarket to serve you for 2 weeks. But you willingly dip your ink in JLP finger in order to deny yourself and your children the progress.
So PNP going to challenge Andrew Holness' seat listed.
But just the mere fact that cafe observers are saying people are in the line at 5 p.m. and not allowed to vote is serious, right? Everybody know. If one thing you know is that when 5 o'clock come, if you're in the line, you have to be allowed to vote. The Representation of the People Act, ROPA, says this, right? I asked the Director of Elections about this in an interview I did on my radio program Beyond the Headlines after the election. He says it's something they're going to be looking into. We cannot allow this to drop. We can't drop this. This is serious. This is concerning. This has to be explained by the Electoral Office. Now, the PNP went on to say that while they respect the will of the voters, they said they can't ignore the corrosive effects of these illegal and immoral actions on public trust in the electoral process. And they said they're calling on the Electoral Commission, law enforcement, and civil society to deal with this, to take steps, they said, to confront and eradicate these practices. Now, there's another development, which is that Paul Buchanan, the PNP candidate who ran against Prime Minister Andrew Holness, says he's challenging the results. He's alleging irregularities in PNP stronghold polling stations. He claims there was a, quote, strange removal of several boxes. He says he's gathering evidence. He says he'll report the matter officially to the Electoral Office within a week. So we're tracking all of that and we'll update you on that. So what happens now? First of all,
let's go to the video with Paul Buchanan so he can explain to you himself. But we must not at all allow anyone to steal from us and shut us up, because it is the intention of this government to silence us. We're sore losers. We just cannot get over it. JLP1. Ask yourself the question, with all of what you saw in the media on election day, with what the observers have told us, can we continue to say labor rights, that this election was free and fair? With a tie labor right in a condom and throw them over gully, over gully, labor rights. Because we're not worth. We're not worth it. We cannot. Politics is not about your politician. It's about you, your community, and your children's future. That's what it is about. Make it into it's about politician. That's why you all call them Mrs. and Misters and honorables and all of that. Over here, politicians, over in Brittany, so politician is nothing that we have respect for. Trust me. And those who live here know. We do not. Like come here, you ever hear anybody call Keir Starmer Mr. Starmer? It's Keir Starmer. You ever hear anybody call Mr. Prince Charles or Charles? Charles, what did they with two sisters married one? Because many of you would know that Charles was with Diana, the older sister, before he married to Diana. We don't have respect for politicians. Jamaicans alone creep under politician foot. Jamaicans alone bow down when them say politician. We couldn't give a toss who they are. What we give a toss about is doing your job That's why the Deputy Prime Minister of Britain had to step down a few days ago, because she have helped to pass a legislation with tax we. And then we found out that the thief weren't paying enough tax to us, and she was booted, similarly to Boris Johnson. We got rid of him when we found out he lied to us during COVID when he locked us down and I have party. And Boris Johnson's a no more. Floyd Green came back after Floyd Green did the same thing Boris Johnson did. He came back to the top of government and still sell Floyd Green a third term. Southwest Hungry Belly St. Elizabeth people want to sell Floyd Green a third term. But let's listen to Paul Buchanan.
According to the PNP candidate for West Central St. Andrew, Paul Buchanan, the preliminary results bear no resemblance to the history and data of the constituency.
This constituency has 13,400 voters, and never before has the Mullines division recorded the numbers we were seeing in any general election.
Mr. Buchanan is alleging the irregularities were concentrated at the polling stations in areas considered People's National Party strongholds.
At DuPont, in particular, the conflict in terms of the outturn or the outcome and the numbers, the preliminary numbers, could not be supported.
At the Taylor Basic School, the Mall Road cluster, more irregularities, he claims.
Again, there we had significant numbers, so much so that after a visit by Andrew Holness yesterday, voting was ordered stopped, inexplicable.
He says his team is also investigating the strange removal of several boxes.
Is that there were some boxes over Seaward Drive or the Seaward School cluster that went to the polling station long after everywhere else in Jamaica, despite the fact that it was about 300 yards away or 300 meters away between Seaward School and the counting center. And when my attorney asked for an explanation, they said that the responsible person was sick. Now, we'll have to go into that as far as the sickness is concerned, or who was the responsible person, whether as a presiding officer. So the question will be asked. Again, at Drews Avenue, where another of our strong cluster of boxes. The pickup people took a route which is inexplicable. Instead of going straight from Mullines, coming up Mullines and go straight through to Bay Farm and Waltham to the counting center, they went through a hazardous path, a perilous path, down Olympic, to drop off 2 policewomen. And we have witnesses of all these things. And through a throng of JLP, crowd and all of that, to 3 Mile and then up.
Mr. Buchanan is calling for a thorough investigation, but says he has not officially reported the matter to the EOJ as he's gathering evidence and will do so in a week. Kirk Wright, TVJ News.
To the dead people of Jamaica who continue to vote in our election, and a time for no one in peace now. To the dead people of Jamaica who continue to vote and mess up with election, isn't it about time? I want to rest in peace now. But the people of Jamaica are speaking out. Morning, Darrell Vaz. I mean, how could Dr. Bloomfield murder not go to the top of the political chain when the so-called killer had the same attorney as Darrell Vaz, walked out of court, jumped over the balcony, run towards downtown or wherever I run to, but just blow away like smoke, just smoke, you know, and he go by the balcony and he do so whoops. In turning a smoke. And we've never heard gun fire about it again. Never heard gun. But Floyd Green bought his way to power this time. Don't know about 2020, don't know about 2016, because I weren't paying this close attention. This time, though, I am 100% certain that Floyd Green bought his way to power. Floyd Green has made it back to Parliament illegally. Floyd Green committed crimes across Southwest St. Elizabeth constituency in order to get back to power. Floyd Green and one of his councillor candidate caretaker, Dr. Bamadilli, and a whole host of other operatives from the constituency, millions were spent to ink people's finger, to persuade people not to go to the poll, to buy votes from those little Roman boom heads of Southwest St. Elizabeth. Floyd Green ought to be charged for the crimes committed during the election campaign, particularly in the last 2 weeks before election. Mr. Green was on a vote-buying campaign second to none. Families of mine, Mr. Green, and you know them well, help you to buy those votes, isn't it? Those who you give 150,000 last week, Wednesday morning, those who you gave 100,000 last Wednesday morning to go and knock up people and tip them to, and those same people pick them up and carry them to a polling station, Mr. Green. There were many crimes committed against us, my people. You see, from Sunday night to Tuesday night to even Wednesday morning, Floyd Green and Bamadilli carried out many crimes from Mountainside down to Catabo, Arlington, Fellerswood, Vineyard, Black River, Newtown. Many millions Floyd Green spent in order to make his way back to power. Let us listen to Miranda.
People already had ink on their fingers
and they
did not vote.
Woo. Shocking words there from Dr. Miranda Wellington, PNP candidate in Southwest St. Elizabeth, a seat considered the bellwether seat. She was up against Floyd Green, the incumbent, who was victorious.
And this won't be new to any Jamaican. It's just that it's more blatant. It's more blatant now. Many political parties have been accused of buying votes. But when you think about voter suppression, that's a whole different kettle of ball. It exists, but it was significantly identified in my strong PNP zones. For a constituency that is known to be the highest voter turnout in the island, one of the highest, we saw where many of my PDs, to this moment, I am still dumbfounded as to why there is less than 50% turnout in my strong PNP zones. So I know that many people may not be aware of the kind of political hindrances that exist. And I'm not being a sore loser, because if you lost, you lost. But if there's significant red flags, we now have to look at how do we prevent against this.
Watch it all exclusively on the Trailblazers with Tamara TV on YouTube.
A vast amount of young people, not just young people though, but they were the chief sellers. They were the top prostitute of this election cycle. They were very transactional with their votes this time. That's the only way Floyd Green got back to power, because a lot of people think in Southwest St. Elizabeth was inked on Tuesday night. And the ink ones are the PNP voters. So on a Labour right alone, sell themselves short in this election. Many hungry belly comrades in Southwest St. Elizabeth in particular, I talk about this where I come from, where I can get information from the ground. Many comrades in Southwest St. Elizabeth took money to stay away from the poll, or those who they couldn't trust, they inked them. We're set for now, you see. And we know hungry across the country, you know. But through fishing and agriculture mash up in St. Elizabeth, hungry turn up. Independent voices across the country are speaking out. We should have a rerun of this election, or at least the seats where we identify where the crimes committed in like Dalrymple, Floyd Green, Andrew Holness, Juliet Holness, Bobby Montague, such a like and such a forth. We want rerun of those seats because they weren't it wasn't a fairly contested election in many of these seats. Many of these seats. It just wasn't a fairly contested election.
All right, so good morning, everybody. So this is my opinion, and you don't have to.
If you do know of PNP candidates who were buying votes, put the information out. Put the information out, labor rights. Like we can tell on, and we can speak for my community. We saw Dalrymple with the old cow. Bobby Montague on the stolen boxes. The video is out there. Juliet Holness's disruption at the Kentire division. Andrew Holness ordering a polling station to close off because the people block him from entering. These are not things that we're dreaming about. Because by now we would have wake up, don't you think? Or otherwise we must be in a coma if we're asleep from Wednesday till now. Evidence are out there to support those. The 20% of poll divisions where the election observers are telling us that voters were being suppressed. They weren't being suppressed by the People's National Party.
Have to agree with me. But I believe that the general elections should be recalled, not because of the winners or the losers, but because of the discrepancies within the poll, where you have 5,000 persons within an area that is eligible for vote, or 5,000 registered vote, but when the ballots are counted, you have 6,000 people. You know, for example, because I'm seeing a lot of that going around. So in light of those realities and in light of those evidence that were brought forth, I do believe that the elections should be recalled, because there's no way you can have 10 people in an area and there is 20 people voting. It makes no sense. Obviously, something went wrong. Obviously, something went down. You understand me? And as a Jamaican, we should choose Jamaica. And choosing Jamaica means to want fairness, to want honesty, right? Not worried about any party. Not to worry about any party. Because whichever party win or whichever party lose, Jamaica is the one that's going to feel it. Yeah. And I'm seeing a lot of discrepancies at the poll. I'm seeing a lot of people coming out now, even the whole EOJ thing where they're saying, okay, this amount of people in this area that is eligible for voting, this amount of registered voters, right? And you have a certain amount of registered voters. And even though you only have a certain amount of registered voters, there's more people voting than the amount of registered voters, which tells me that something went terribly wrong. And as Jamaicans seeking to put Jamaica first, we should want to know what went wrong. We should want to address the issue. You understand me? We should. And we should want a free and fair election, because I know I want a free and fair election. I don't want to vote still, but I would want to see a free and fair election. And it doesn't matter who come up on top. It don't, because for me it doesn't matter who come up on top, because whoever wins, I'm still gonna have to get up and go to work tomorrow. I'm still gonna have to take care of my kids. I'm still gonna have to take care of myself. I'm still gonna have to work. And if I don't have a job, there's no politician that is going to come and say, come, here's a job, go to work. No. You understand me? So I really do believe that we need a recall in this election, and this election needs to be redone. Something went wrong, terribly wrong, and we should uphold justice for ourselves. You understand me? We're not supposed to allow politicians to play in our faces like this. This is
no, my love. It's not justice for ourselves in this country. It's justice for Anvars. Because labor rights are not concerned that the election was stolen from the entire country. Labor rights are only concerned. Continue, Matilda, when you're done at all.
This is very serious. We're not supposed to allow any politician at all, whether you're with them or you're not with them, we're not supposed to allow them to play in our faces like this. Because if they can play in our faces like this, imagine the things that they do behind the scene. Yes. And for those of you who like to come on my page and disrespect me, good luck to you. I still go to work, I still eat, and my belly still big, and I can't seem to lose no weight all the way near they drag me and they disgrace me. It seems to not be working, so good luck to that.
I think by now my HIV wouldn't give up and run away, how people really hold him and throw him up and disgrace him through this election cycle. My team wouldn't have shame and gone about him business. But him still stick around with me. But labor rights are not concerned about an election that was stolen from the country with many evidence in many different constituencies. They're concerned about a woman who they're not saying to us that the election was stolen. They're saying that the people was unfair to vote against the wife as a criminal, an accessory to crime. And I challenge Darrell Vaz to tell me where he was the night when Samuel Dixon was murdered. And isn't it a fact, Darrell Vaz, that you, Darrell Vaz, when the police officers got to the scene of Fraughty's murder, Darrell Vaz was already on the scene. Challenge me that that is not true, Mr. Vaz. Call you all Mr. what you don't deserve. Challenge me that when Samuel Dixon was murdered, you did not arrive on the scene before the police officers. Challenge me on it. Okay, everything we talk a lie. And because we bad mind.
Like see.
Bad mind over stolen property. Because we bad mind over stolen property. Then now come out, come cost labor rights, we never vote for Anvars because They're fed up of her dancing and skinning out Pan Road. She and Michelle Charles get booted for the same thing. We did not employ them for a photo opportunity. There's a magazine called Vogue. There's a magazine called the what they call them magazine in a front in England when naked people depend are half naked people depend are those who want. There are magazines. You have page 3 in the Star and them sinting there. That's not what we employ them for. That's what we know them for, though, is it not? Barring when we hear Anvas present in a parliament. And that I never that we employ them for. We never employ them for photo opportunity. We never employ Anvas for cry to water. When Jesus walked on, and even when she was moved by the water that Jesus walked on, she still come back to Jamaica and sell you the same water. Because Jesus must did walk on Jamaica water too. Why Anvas think to say, she fit take it up and sell it to no. But labor rights in East Portland now are nothing. Anyway.
Like seriously, people, Daryl Vaz, of all persons, I call people criminal, convicted felon. People only hear about the Diane Smith case, but there are countless of others. Let me just touch upon one of a few local cases so people can have a better identity. People never hear about Beachy Stout, where he need kill twine wife in KILLE, what twine wife them down there, and he get catch on the last one. The reason why I never did get caught on them 2 cases before was because Daryl was helping. You want me to give a next scenario? Ask the people about Clarendon when Daryl Vaz used to do Clarendon. How much bucklad things that me are so where people afraid for talk, but you me not afraid for talk. So this is just starting Daryl Vaz. So Daryl Vaz, be a very local self, Amber. Be a very local self. Now me have to reload your book. I remember me have your file. Me have no file on the file, but me have your file, Daryl Vaz. So humble yourself.
The Minister of Government, Daryl Vaz, is a murderer, is a killer. And Daryl Vaz ought to be strung up and have his day in court. A whole heap of murder Daryl Vaz guilty of. Murdering somebody doesn't mean that you kill them yourself. Another murder go. You're also guilty of a murder if you're an accessory to it. If you have arranged the murder, if you have ordered the killing, you are as guilty as the person who carried out the murder. Tell Daryl Vaz to tell you where he was on the morning, May 4th, 1983, when Diane Smith was raped and murdered. It is why I asked Mr. Vaz, do you love the sight of dead children in uniform, Mr. Vaz? And was it a reason why you purchased the buses? Is the image of dead Diane Smith, Mr. Vaz, still in your mind so you want to see more of it or even any broader scale? Because it's the only thing that will come of the chain of plastic buses. Daryl Vaz bringing bus to kill off with children.
Yes, people.
And nobody don't think to say it's of a great concern. But we will be reminding you when disaster struck, which we hope to God, parents wake up and see the danger to their children. A danger arranged and organized by the government. Those who put their hand on the Bible and swore to protect and defend you. Give them a protect and defend the Constitution, you know. There's a lot of rights that the Constitution gave to you that they must also protect and defend. One of them is right to life, is it not?
Give thanks, man. You see, the Most High God work in mysterious ways with wonders to perform. So you see, even though on a recount, Isaac Buchanan and Anne-Marie Vaz East Portland election, Anne-Marie Vaz lose five ballot, while them claim say Isaac gain 44 ballot, right? But all of this to say is the Lord Almighty at work, because many people across the world don't know. Parsley Garden is not government property. Parsley Garden is not a government-owned property. Parsley Garden, Burlington, Whitehall Estate, Norwich Plantation, Port Antonio Estate, all these land are legally owned by James Clayton White. These estates and many others
on YouTube, please,
have been administered and transferred August to September 2017. This is what the whole of them, Andrew Holness, Darrell Vaz, and his wife are grab at. This is a part of the plot came up against Dr. Bloomfield, why he lost his 3 points. Yeah, uno can come at me because of the truth me attack, and uno know. Because uno know say uno can't challenge me. 99% of the businesses in Port Antonio, especially the people who have estate in Port Antonio business district, have gotten letter for the legal settlement. All of them. From Singer, JPS, courts, you name them. All of them
Top up the
got
script, please.
letter for legal settlement in Port Antonio from 2018. All of them. So this is why East Portland is such a hot seat.
Hold on. Globalist, why not cheat, Mr. Bad? Me really beg on out here. 568 on upon producer Wayne channel. And only 130 hit the like button. 37 are you on Global TV Studios. How much of you hit the like button? GTV have 50 odd of you. How much of you hit the like button? Support the program, man. All we're asking for is like and share. Why I don't want my program to get out there? What is it? Me not somebody picking it up. Am I not somebody picking it too? That's when you just sit down and have on a finger, and we're only asking for finger support. We're just asking to use your finger to support the program. Hit the like button and share the live as well. That's what we ask of you. At least that you can do. We come out here 2 days a week for keep on a company and for keep on inform. At least, I mean, that's the minimum requirement. And it is free. You don't have to pay anything. It's a part of how the thing works. Me support and support me. What I'm doing for the country, it benefit all of us. Hit the like button, man. Not because I hear me a cuss and a one bad over hit. Hit the like button. It's not hard. I mean, a thing on a finger, pierce on a side. Hit the like button, man. Good God Almighty.
To the labor right them. You understand? But bear in mind, say, what God open, no man can close. And what God close, no man can open. Everybody in a Portland, in a my age group, know that the Appleby been in court with the government about Pastor Garden for decade. Everybody know that. The court know. All of the politicians them know. both the PNP and the JLP. This is not a ism-schism issue. So when you say Andrew Holness hold on pan power so and no one let go, bear in mind, say when me I tell you no, a real thing. And he must go to prison. He must go to prison. Nothing can save him. Because all of them wrong damn boy who see him go on with right across the island. The most of Jamaica, you know, owned by James Clayton White and his father, David White, you know. When nobody feel like a joke me I make, you know. And when you hear me say, Terra Nova, what they call Barridel and Grants level. James Clayton White bite from him two sister for 1,000 year. 1,000 year. Water Commission can't collect $1 from me for water and then can't cut off my pipe. Me dare you, Water Commission, if you come disconnect my pipe anytime you feel like. Because you know say when me talk and no lie. And me dare you, Mark Barnett, if send nobody because you get letter too. So when nobody believes say when me talk and somehow you know, must go to prison. Me say head I go roll, you know. The back line of me, you know. A God in control, not man. Just watch what going to take place in this country here.
Only if you live in East Portland or if you have good contacts on the ground in East Portland like I have, you will understand the land grab that is going on, particularly in East Portland, of your white sandy beaches, your beaches and your rivers. Only if you live in East Portland or have good contact
as it relates to
in East Portland, you would really understand what these people have done to Portland in the name of governance and politics. It's a land grab, my people. And it look like they never finish them job of yanking every inch of property that they can coop up under them belt from East Portland. When Anvaz turn up, she built parish council land with the intention to run Airbnb if she never made it through. So I don't know why Portland people is wallowing over to hasten their own destruction, East Portland. When you sit down in a dot and walla in front of we, hasten for your own destruction. Because the only person that will come out on the Wassara side is you, the people of East Portland. While Anvaz and Darrell Vaz and Andrew and them Pickney is going to move off with a lot of your wealth and resources. Sell it off to them friend. Prevent you from invading their privacy. As Anvaz would have it, because when them pass Blue Lagoon, when the raft of them pass, them invade our privacy.
As it relates to the rafting on Blue Lagoon, why they stop the rafting? Why was it stopped?
You see clear and say when the raft them a pass our house, the people she can't have no privacy.
What?
And them come build the house from the water.
Hold on. Where you said it a while? She said what?
When the raft a pass our house, they don't have no privacy. Because when time up the raft man them pass the house and people ask who own them villa, the captain, and we say those villas is owned by the member of parliament and they don't want to be exposed.
So they stop the rafting on the sea.
Yes.
This is not in their pool.
No.
This is on the sea going down to Pelou Island and back up. And we used to raft people or boat them down there, so.
100 US a couple of people from raft from Blue Lagoon to Monkey Island. And one man I do all 2-3 trips a day. And that kind of income we get knocked from.
Hold on. So you're saying a man could have made 300 US a day?
Yes.
Easy.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Going down the line.
Going down, yes.
Carrying a couple over to Pelu Island. And back up. And because he had to pass the MP.
Back around the Blue Lagoon. One of the most beautiful.
Are you saying on the Producer Wayne channel, there's over 300 laborites on here this morning? Because there's 592 of you. And only 240 hit the like button. Are you saying there's so much laborites? Laborites, even Uno can't hit the like button too, you know. Even Uno laborites can support the program. Because even though you're not willing to support yourself, what we do is try to support you out here as well. We speak up for Uno laborites, Uno may not recognize. Uno, at this point, may not recognize that what we are doing is speaking up for you as well. Hit the like button. And don't make me go along like hooligan this morning.
So it's that thing we're going in a Portland, plus the motorboat ride at 3,000 a head. 50 people go up on a motorboat. One boat I carry up to all 12 people at a time. 3,000.
Yeah.
And at 3 years now, we lose all that kind of money every day. As me there I speak, every day people come. What happened to boat ride? What happened to rafting? The taxi driver, them from Negril, from Ochi, they can't come again because a Blue Lagoon they sell, they market.
Anvaz and Darrell Vaz stopped the rafting because they built their property on your beachfront, Jamaica. And they said, Jamaica, that you are invading their privy something. I don't know if you're invading privy council or privy what's it, but you invade some privy for them. This is the audacity. Why could Anvar say a thing like that though? I believe this is the sole reason why Anvaz could say something like that.
To come from one C3 count, and it has come to my attention that half and quarter Jamaicans don't know how to vote. Why? At our big age, we don't know how to follow one simple instruction? No, man. I mean, the people them explain to you before we even go over this and go vote. The people them say, put the X, which one you choose out of the three. Not 2X, not 3X, 1X. And to the person who write, I love you on the ballot, your candidate or your MP do count ballots, my love. Text them and tell. And to the person who draw one gun on the ballot, you are got L headway. I know some feel like say this generation do it. The generation you were just able to vote. We can't take life serious. Them tell you to vote for somebody, you have to vote for three somebody, you spread the love. What?
This is why politicians can behave the way they do in our country. We do not understand the power or significance of our vote. Because it is why Bobby Montague, after planning to hang your 17-year-old, because this debate was in relation to 17-year-old, what they were having it at Parliament at the time, how they would raise the punishment and so on for those age group. And Bobby Montague was of the view that once there's a pronouncement of guilt, you must be taken to the gallows immediately, denying you the right of appeal, which we saw people like Vybz Kartel and others has walked free from, all be because of technicalities within the system. Bobby Montague is saying, we are here to murder your children. even though the Minister of Health is murdering more people in our country on an annual basis, much more than the gangsters, Bobby Montague does not believe in due process, because the appeal process is a part of the due process also. Because at the trial level, you must get a fair trial. And if you don't get a fair trial at the trial level, then the appeal process is a part of the due process as well. Explore that to make sure that the person is receive a proper conviction before you take them to the gallows. Not so, as gone to Bobby Montague. Just string them up.
I want to understand this big dirty shit bag now. This boy, you know, Montague, him is one of the illicit 12. Long time the Integrity Commissioner pray this John Crow, and through them have the majority, them try to suppress it. It all come to light now. We're not just wait. In a few weeks' time, we're not going to know that Montague is one of the illicit 12. Just hold on, that's what I'm going to hear something. But listen this Montague now, the plans we have for people them who vote for him in a St. Mary. This is the plan we have for them. Listen.
Resume hanging without delay. A quick analysis of the murder figures shows that for the 25 years from 1962 to 1987, some 7,447 persons were murdered in Jamaica, or an average of 297 persons per year, or 14.1 murders per 100,000. Madam Speaker, please note that the last hanging in Jamaica was done in February 1988. In the 25 years after 1988, 89 to 2014, some 27,367 persons were murdered, or an average of 1,094 per year. This gives 42 per 100,000. But understand also, Madam Speaker, that the population moved from 1.6 million to 2.8 over 50 years, a 57% increase. The total amount of murder went up by 400%, or 4 times. Please note that in the second 25 years, we saw more access by the population to better education, better health care, counseling, mentoring, and psychological support. Yet, Madam Speaker, the only difference is that we have stopped hanging and we have created a murder factory. It is plain to see, hanging, the statistics show, is fit for purpose.
No, this is politician talking about murder factory. When not our research, that we know that, we live in it, but research from Britain, research from America, research from Canada, and the evidence I have on Dr. Horace Chang shows that these are the very same people that import illegal guns into our country. These are the same people that distribute these weapons to the garrisons. The same people who are talking about a murder capital was created in Jamaica. Bobby Montague, who do you think created the murder capital? If not the JLP from Eddie Siaga and the CIA days, Bobby Montague, who do you think really create this murder capital? Bobby Montague, don't you remember the run up to the 1980 election? Which turned our country into the violent chaos that it is now, which from then to now, Bobby Montague, politicians and both sides of the kind don't stop support and harbor gangsterism and the supply of weaponry in our country, but more so uno labor rights. And we know about Babsy Dalrymple, Darrell, Gillette Holness have a legal galangin now. She just used the security service to kill young boys in her country. Ask rural, East rural people on a come out, come talk, don't make me look like a lie, me I tell Pan Gillette. East rural people, come out, come talk how much young boy Gillette Wellness kill in the run-up to this general election. How much young boys Gillette Wellness use the security service to murder in the run-up to this general election. Go on like I say a lie, me I tell you, come out, come talk, because people of East St. Andrew, know. But me know so I'm afraid of Gillette anyway.
Purpose for Jamaica. It might not work elsewhere, but this 50-year study has clearly shown that hanging keeps murders low in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, we should build 4 more gallows. 1 in the west, 1 on the south coast, 1 on the north coast, and 1 in the east. With 5 gallows, most areas will be within 1 hour of one of them. So as the judge pass sentence, straight to the gallows you go. And you must be hung by your neck until you are dead, 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 or until your teeth kill.
Oh, crack your fucking head. This is the people we elect to legislate. This is the people we elect to represent us. The only thing they after we in Jamaica, I don't know how much I know go seat, and those who no seat already, I don't know one now go seat is death and destruction. Buster and Carol Gardens, Eddie Siaga and Eventide, Bruce Golden and Tivoli Gardens, and the wholeness and the entire bloody country.
This is a parliamentarian, in our parliament, a public servant who we employ, a conspire with the rest of core worker them to kill we off. A little shitbag, a little nobody who we employ, a conspire now with the other core worker them to kill we off. And the amount of corruption where Robert Montague when he say Omar Woodbine win him in a seat in drop down because he say everything.
A question for Bobby Montague. I wonder if rapists, Bobby Montague, should hang till them dead, and them teeth killed. Because maybe you would be on the gallows as well, Mr. Montague, isn't it?
Thing all come to light now. In pressure take him in drop down. Me say, when Robert Montague, cause him can't know, the people them have work inside can tell him so Omar Woodbine and lead him by far, When him discover that in drop blood clot down, somebody soon come out and tell us that true, me I tell you. In drop down. This is the guy who dropped down because him now I got prison, I go tell we him boss. So him and the other core worker them. I think about.
Why you think they take Omar Woodbine back them go dash where bush? Why do you think this is what I say? You said me no could never trust police in a Jamaica. No care how decent enough you think they be. Because one thing with Jamaica, 99% of the people you can buy them out. It's a society. It's how we have become. 99% of Jamaican can be bought and sold.
Them are going to hang with them boss. What we are pay them, Montague. It's when time the Gagada live out of parliament.
Because we have an interview to play with Isaac as well. But potato thief, roast cow, steal from the public purse, the criminal Marisia Dalwymple. There's something wrong with us. I'm glad we from Southwest St. Elizabeth, we're a swing seat. We don't harbor the die-heartedness. And like the government stole the general election, they would have had to stole Southwest St. Elizabeth for the continuous trajectory of St. Elizabeth's seat. Southwest St. Elizabeth's seat from independence to now, where we're always on the government bench. So it would create an electoral anomaly, havoc, or something strange or whatever if the PNP took the general election the other night and Floyd Green won his seat. So Floyd Green lost his seat just like Labour Right lost the general election. So in fraudulently taking the election, they would have to also take Floyd Green's seat in the steal as well to make it look like, yes, Southwest St. Elizabeth has sent a directive to the nation that is where we're going. That's all. But to the people of South Trelawney, uno know way better than West Portland, you know. Uno is the same kunumunus. You people of South Trelawney, you're all the same bunch of kunumunus that is over in West Portland. Come hell or high water, I will stick with the distress. I will stick with the distress, said West Portland and South Trelawney, among others. But these two have very dismal performance. I mean, Labour Right performed dismally across the country anyway. The people chose a piece of roast cow rather than the development of their constituency.
This is a main road. But I said a main road, not a parish council road, a main road in southern Trelawney. My soul cries for the people from where I was born. She, Arisa Dalrymple, Philbert, whatever her name is, has presided over this constituency for 18 years. And this is the state of the roads. And
yes, Ladybug, me played the mudslide last night.
She's gone 18 years. Before or 5, she's running for 23 years. What are the hopes? What hopes do these people have that you will fix their road? And I traveled all the way.
Same, Wagwan.
To Top Trelawney, through Clarkstown, through Jacksontown, up to the hills, and the roads are atrocious. But yet, they gave you another term. They rewarded you for non-performance.
Where is Nathaniel? Trelawney was down Portland? Lord Jesus.
My people. I saw them in the range yesterday, out celebrating non-performance. I asked them. They told me all sort of things, but hey, you get what you vote for.
We get what we vote for. Now we'll turn our attention to the man that is causing havoc, the man who brought the heat to the people of East Portland, the man who the people of East Portland accepted the heat he brought to East Portland. Now let's turn to Isaac McCannan, interview with the Gleaner. Labor rights, one thing I cannot say, or one thing I haven't heard you all said yet, is that Isaac stole the election. Like, we have evidence of a lot of steal by the Jamaica Labour Party across the country. Me not hear no say that yet. Me not know if you say so, I me not hear it, but me not hear no say that yet. So
first on the internet can say, I am not a brilliant politician. I don't absorb negativity.
Therefore,
and I say what things are, and they
can't say I steal Isaac steal.
Buchanan attorney at law. And
all right, well, when Isaac done, we come back. This is a 20 minutes interview, and it's a worthwhile listen. So when this interview done, we'll come back on the other side. But dry your weeping eyes, labor rights. I mean, a lot of us People's National Party supporter are independent, who is of the view that the election was stolen. We congratulated the Prime Minister, because the only thing the Prime Minister won on Wednesday night was a third term. Otherwise, the Prime Minister lost the election. He didn't gain anything. What he retained is minority power compared to what he had. You know, win nothing, and also win go. In the context of what the result turned out, the only thing the Prime Minister won was a third term. Other than that, the Prime Minister has lost. The Prime Minister has run out of favor with the people. The people rejected a lot of the Prime Minister's candidate. Honestly, we come out here, walla, even nobody still want to steal the election. We're not planning to mash up the country. What we're asking for is meaningful redress of the crimes and corruption that took place over the election cycle, which we're entitled to do if we claim we live in a democracy, if we claim that the rule of law is subjected to all of us, then our politicians ought not to get away with crimes in front of us.
A brilliant politician. I don't absorb negativity, and I say what things are, and they happen as I say it. I am Isaac McCannan, attorney at law and the member of parliament for Portland Eastern. What do you think truly resonated with the voters down there? You know, there's something that no one can take away from me at any time. It's I am you. There's a difference when you're yourself every day. I wake up and I am myself, with all my flaws. I never hide from my conviction. I never hide from my past. I have a show called Context Matters, and it arose from similar situations where in Jamaica, there is the reality that there are two Jamaicas that exist. There are some people who have reign to say anything, do anything because of color, because of class, because of nepotism. And then there are those of us like me who, regardless of being bright, but regardless of being ambitious, there are those who say you should go on and go into a box and stay there. There's no room to flourish. So everything that's happened in the space, especially Portland Eastern, there was an idea that somebody like me, a Rasta man, a black man, notwithstanding appearing before the Privy Council, the highest court in the land, even Parliament is subject to, that there would be some belief that the space could not be a space I could be a part of. I never held that view.
All right. And you believe that your constituents saw this in you and this connected with them?
Yes. Every youth, every mother, every parent, brother, sister, I represent them. I represent hope. I represent change. And more than anything, as I said, when it comes to myself, I make the impossible possible. And that is something that resonated with them when I said, I'm here for change. How can we fix this? I move there. I live among the people, and that's important for them.
You're from an entertainment family?
Oh, yes, man.
How has Big Youth responded to your win and your siblings?
Well, your brother is Zambo is here. Yeah. Zambo is, I say this all the time, Zambo is Michael, I am Tito. If you know anything about
the Jackson 5, yeah, man.
You know where I fall on the musical spectrum.
Yes.
But yeah, my father is always excited about anything that I do. He watches and he, let me not trouble it. I got covered him. Big Youth and him ready move. I not go do that. Yeah, he's the government gave him a national honors, one of those OD things, and he was appreciative of that. But entertainers and he maintains that entertainers should kind of like not participate in politics. That is his view. Notwithstanding that he did come on the political platform on my behalf, but in the capacity as my father, who happens to be an entertainer. So there's a space for it, but I always take guidance from my father, and I accepted that it should be separate.
Okay, so Zambo is Tito.
No. Let's make this clear. Zambo is Michael.
Zambo is Isaac.
Tito
and Isaac.
Yes.
Tito. Any others?
Yes. There is Marcus who also has the musical gene, but Zambo is the apparent heir to the musical legacies.
Yeah. And you, yes, based on you being Tito, it tells me that you have more than dabbled in entertainment.
Yes, man. Big artist, double cardboard.
Okay. How do you see yourself now balancing the role and the demands of being a member of parliament and any interest that you would have had in music?
So I can tell you this. At 47, and even long before that, I won't bore you with the story of the Baba and what my destiny was and what I saw of it. But I can tell you the story of the Baba.
Yeah.
I did my album, Lovers Rock. And this is sometime in 2010 probably. And I was sure it was going to be the next big thing. And I met a Baba. And when I brought the album for him to bless it, and he had 5 stones in his hand, and he drops the stones, and the stones went, we were dodging the stones. I knew immediately what that meant. It was not for me. And he asked me, do you have a sibling? And I said, yes. Well, he says, that's the Michael and you're Tito. But don't feel bad. You're going to be a lawyer. And you're going to manage the affairs of your brother and your father. Which is the current position.
When was this?
This 2010. I had I mean, coming off of a stint of incarceration, when somebody says to me, you're going to be a lawyer, you know that you're ready to call that person a fraud, but he says that's what's in the stars for you. Fast forward, I became an attorney, and thereafter, I still put out music. My music have appeared in American Gangster. I do music with my father and my brother. I get my sound scan check. I monetize music and understand that music for me is a pastime. This is a safe space. And so I don't need the double platinum and I don't need to compete with the rest of it. It's my happy place.
So you know that based on that story that you have just said, somebody watching this video is going to say, oh, Obia you use beat and reverse.
Pour it. Let me explain something, Kay. God and time is a formula to life. Life equals time plus chance created. And once you know yourself, once you tap into God and you appreciate that, listen, Black people, and I speak of it all the time, we especially in Jamaica, where we have survived the Middle Passage. We are children of slaves. Well, someone's gonna say, not me, and fine for you, but that experience is never lost. Yes? And so when it comes to religion and finding your spiritual identity, we here in Jamaica have what is known as restorative justice. And in that component, there's something known as the healing circle. In African religion and tribes and the Afro identity, you have the Baba, you have the leaders in the village, you have the healing circle, and that's where spirituality comes from. So when a spiritualist speaks on your life and they bless you and they say you're the warrior, you are the intellects, and they set out society as it is, we have lost that. All we have now is call centers and what they call it? Hospitality industries. When the brightest and best of us don't get to become the best versions of themselves. And for somebody to say, Obia, to beat action, and I'm a maroon. I know myself. I'm a strong, intelligent, powerful Black man. How can anybody think any less of me and expect any less?
Is spiritual healing your happy place?
Of course. My mother, the Reverend Dr. Joan Portius, you see how I smile? She used to wake me up every morning and have me read Psalms and sing Sweet Hour of Prayer. You never knew why, but you will learn just like school. It becomes a part of your life. And channeling God is something that makes me confident in myself. I'm unbreakable.
You mentioned entertainment as being part of your vision, how you were raised, and it's in your DNA. What role do you see entertainment playing in the development of Portland?
All right, so I'm happy you said that. Portland, somewhere along the line, the nightlife was lost. I want to say in the entire Jamaica, the Noise Abatement Act was a legislation that curtailed freedom of expression and culture. We don't have entertainment zones, and we don't get the experience of South Beach and all of these areas where Brooklyn, Vegas, where this city never sleeps. Well, in Portland, what we want to do in 5 divisions is resurrect entertainment, the dance hall, the culture, and there's a lot of talent in that space. And so for entertainment, because Jamaica strives off of tourism, entertainment, and sports, can't forget that, Tackle a little agriculture on it, and then you're good. We have to ensure that I know I'm committing to ensure that at the end of this, there's a studio there to have Portland has talent and give them the space and let them know that it's not only farm work cards that's there for you. You can go on tour. You can tour Europe if you can't get a US visa. You can go to the United Kingdom, and your music can change your lives. That's some of our best of Jamaica are the dancehall artists.
What are some of the things? Maybe, the first things though, towards that goal that you need to do to get entertainment, nightlife up and running.
Again, I can tell you, in Portland, as I said, the entertainment zones, unfortunately, the People's National Party didn't emerge as the government of the day. So what will take place is 5 years of political pageantry. Let me put it nicely, where the government of the day will, from political experience in any country, make it difficult for the opposition to materialize. But I'm vigilant, and I call out anything that is unbecoming, and I call out the unrighteous, because what I'm ensuring is that we don't disenfranchise the people. So I'm continuing to focus on education. Portland voted and made it abundantly clear. Education matters. And the road to escape poverty is education. Entertainment falls in that. And I'm launching the DEEP program. That's the Digital Economy Education Program. And it's in line with what you're talking about what happens in the social media space and how to monetize that.
Does that mean that if something towards developing the entertainment program over there requires legislation, that is something that you would be prepared to take to the parliament?
Of course. What you're going to see certainly from myself is introduction, suggesting what legislation would look like to manage spaces. My contribution, whether it be an amendment or an introduction of a new legislation, having just a space where the law will be able to regulate what is to happen in that space. That's something that I'm processing.
Mm-hmm. In terms of after you are sworn though, do you yet have a kind of like a 1, 2, 3 of what would be the first thing that you would do after your?
Let me answer Paula Blessing. Paula Blessing. The identity Jamaican is a colonial identity that we bear. We, the enslaves, are not. So don't say the man I live because you don't read book and you don't understand history. That the man is living in denial. Is because this is why Andrew Holness couldn't tell you what they say. Banning, having a birth paper don't mean you're Jamaican. Maybe if some of us look to our African identity, we may feel more powerful and mentally stronger and have more pride in ourselves. Because being Jamaican is that you're corrupt and licky and wanga got, as this election just showed us. Innit?
Morning.
I'm going to tell you something. I live down there. The first thing I want is water in my pipes. The bucket life is nowhere. The water trucks are in, or we're ending the days where you have to buy water from NP. That's no more. I'm there.
Okay. And you think that being a part of all of that resonated with the people? Because they're living everything that they're living?
I'm living everything that they're living, but the people know what they want. I'm just a servant. At some point, in political life in Jamaica, politicians thought they were more than the people. And it is only the Constitution. And if you respect and appreciate the Constitution, you accept that the Constitution says you're the creature. That's the Prime Minister, the ministers, the government is a creature of the day, and the human beings are the masters.
Are you describing yourself as the servant of the people?
I am the servant of the people.
Because in 2000 and this.
Oh, she said, may I live in a denial. The East Portland seat was bought out. Okay, if East Portland seat was bought out, what about the country's election? Can you tell us something about that? Was the election a free and fair one? Or is it only Portland seat that was bought out? Tell us, labor rights. Is it the entire country election was rigged or just East Portland? And why you not can let go for the loss in East Portland? We congratulate Andrew Holness, and even though Andrew Holness committed crime against us to hold on to power, we congratulated him. Doesn't mean, though, that we're not entitled to question him.
7, former Prime Minister Bruce Golding said he wants to be called the chief servant as Prime Minister for the entire Jamaica.
And that's the beauty of an anomaly of a Bruce Golding and how the Jamaican people lost the opportunity of another Golding who understands the law and appreciates the role of servant versus master. And the reality is, if you're the least among us and you're a Jamaican citizen, the political electorate class is your servant. We are flight attendants in the sky, the gardener, the helper. We are that. And if we see above that, that's where the miscommunication comes in. And I think that's what's resonated with it.
Is that, though, generally speaking, part of the reasons for the voter apathy that we see, because there's a disconnect between the electors and the people who offer themselves to in their service? They're seeing two different sets of individuals. I am not you and you're not me, and so we can't. There is no point of convergence.
Well, that's a good question. I will say to you that the reality is this. You can't fake honesty. You can't fake human dignity. You can't fake accountability. You can't fake integrity. What is lost among the voter and the politicians is the fact that when you're hungry, when you're poor, when you're struggling to structure your life and survive day to day, who cares about what's happening with the political space? That's for them thing. Me just a try to live. Me just want to get my food. Me just don't want my baby mother asking me out school fee to pay because the voucher them from the politician can't buy one book. Yeah, that is the reason for that.
All right. So I just want to be clear that you are not aware of the firestorm that is in the digital space of what is happening because of your whim over there.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
But I will say, I can explain why I'm not aware.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing the cartel case, a lot of social media bloggers and vloggers and tweeters and texters or whatever you call them, they emerged. Persons with no media experience, no lot in life, no ability, and they just own a cell phone and a little internet, and they just come on and they spew what is known as ad hominem attacks. Not one person on the internet can say I don't have capacity. Not one person on the internet can say I'm not bright. Not one person on the internet can say I am not a brilliant politician. I don't absorb negativity, and I say what things are and they happen as I say it. How did you mobilize the votes for the victory? The plot for me the chart to election of Nike and the content. Can I say heights of great men reach and kept were not attained by sudden flight? You did say heights of great men, and that's not how I learned it in school. Tell me. So I learned the heights that great men. I was quoting. Okay, you were quoting. Sorry, let me leave it. Okay. You didn't let me get to the part where I said they while their companions were sleeping. But anyway, let's be serious. How did I do this? I did the work. I walked to every division. I went house to house. I was in the market. I was at the nine-nights. I was at the funerals. I was at the graduations. I was in the spaces at the beach, everywhere, in Moortown, every single place, in the valley, Manjamia, Hector's River, Ferry Hill, Prospect, Port Antonio, you name it, Snow Hill, Norwich. The point I'm making, I met the people. I did the canvas myself and realized there and then that even if I was there for 18 years, I still would not have met and interacted with everybody. It's an ongoing process. You have to listen to the people. You have to have humility and understand your role. And that's certainly what I be. Okay. What was their pitch to you and what was your pitch to them? So my pitch to them is for their children. I want their children to become the best version of themselves.
Well, you have heard from the man himself. Sorry, the upsetter of Eastern Portland. But when you listen to labor rights, you know they have a real colonial mindset. Martha, we house abundant. Massa, we belly a pain with, not their belly, no massa belly. It is the mentality that we're seeing from labor rights in East Portland. There's various evidence on social media of the discrepancies that took place across the country in the election from the voter suppression of the security services. And them come out causes or not with. The election observer also came out after Wednesday and told us of voter suppression. That is nothing for the colonized labor rights. Can them love when white people colonize them, you know? That's nothing for them. None of them can point to us any evidence of discrepancies that took place in East Portland. They're going on about one seat. We're going on about the entire country. And them tell we say we say move on. Dunce labor rights. Slave mindset labor rights. We up the balance now. One seat versus one whole country. Uno a walla in a dot, uno a demonstrate, uno a sabotage on yourself, uno a plan for even fuck it up for uno very own self. Because Anvaz never win. Anvaz did not do much for her labor rights supporters to come out and vote for her. And uno tell we say, after we witnessed the big steal that happened across the country on Wednesday, we not fi say nothing. We live in a denial. Like seriously? Ask your boyfriend there, or if you're a man, ask yourself, may you play with one another? Like seriously, labor rights, if we just walk on so, when the evidence is in front of us, uno can't present us no evidence, you know. Uno can't present with no evidence. You all just are saying that Anvaz was too white and too pretty and looked too much of a succulent piece of meat to be thrown to the dogs. That's all you're all saying. You're not saying or telling us of the crimes committed in East Portland. But what UNO labor rights can do is only come to people page and be nasty. And normally, dunce people normally revert to nastiness because they do not possess the ability or brain capacity to have a conversation or to have a view on anything other than being very ghettoized and gutterwized. Kind of very ghettoized, you know, on a very gutter as well. That's why we know labor rights are pigs, because every time they turn up, there's a whole bunch of mud on them where they might try to rub off on somebody else. It is why I'm of the view that labor rights in our country must be sterilized. We can't make labor rights continue how they done speaking here, tie up with foot. We cannot allow that to continue to happen. Because if you're going to come to us and say, Anvaz didn't lose fairly, present us the evidence. When I covered election on Wednesday, the evidence was there for Juliet Holness. There's video evidence of Andrew Holness. There's video evidence of the Bobby Montague scenario. Isn't that a concern for you? Cafe has come out and told us that voters were being suppressed. The police officers on Friday came out and told us their vote was being suppressed. Does that not make any sense to you that something went wrong? Does it not spark anything? Because the problem I have with supporters of the Jamaica Labour Party, nothing causes you to think. Nothing causes you to think, to explore possibilities, or to investigate the discrepancies, labor rights. You can do that. If it is that one seat in your view was stolen, what about the rest of the country? That there's evidence provided of the discrepancies. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, Jamal will not save some of them because it's going to take too long to teach them. You just have to sterilize them so they don't keep reproducing the same thing over and over again. You just have to sterilize them. This is why they can continue to elect Darrell Vaz with the dereliccy of their constituency. Is why they can continue to elect a criminal, Marissa Dalrymple Filbert, who just pled guilty in court last year for stealing from the public purse. I know we say so. Marissa Dalrymple Filbert went into court and pled guilty and paid 900,000 Jamaican dollars. The Prime Minister is under a shroud of investigation for financial fraud or financial crimes. I know we are make it up. It's the agency that the Prime Minister just boasted about the other day that I set up. The same agency the Prime Minister have in front of the court. Why do you think that's not a matter for us? If you're paying an employee, your employee cannot come to job and breach their contract. They can't get paid and not do anything and keep their job. We employing them is no different to you being employed in the private sector. When you're employed to do your work. And if you can't do it, employers boot you. Sad enough, the people of Jamaica who are the employers are unable to read the resume that these politicians presented to you. And because you're unable to read the resume, you don't know if they're qualified or not. You don't know if they're capable or not. You don't know if they possess the competencies to carry out the job that you're given to them. Well, me never seen a PNP ended up in a court brawl where Andrew ended up in a. Grace McLean escaped it because corrupt labor rights make time pass spanner. Roel Reid went to the Privy Council to block his, and the system still prevent Roel Reid from going on trial. If you're talking about history prove. Me not say PNP and labor right not thief. I've never come on here and say PNP not thief up with money in our country. Me always call them big rat and puss, big thief and liquor thief. But the labor rights are certainly the big thief in our country, particularly under the Andrew Holness regime. We're going to continue on a disastrous path unless we come out of this dunce colonial mentality that we are in. We're going to despise white Mark Golden, but you're wallowing in the mud like a pig for white and Vaz. I don't understand what the problem is. I really don't understand what the problem is. Because we're not confused when it comes to culture and color. I wonder if Darrell Vaz has ambition to become Prime Minister when Andrew Holness stepped down, or Matthew Samuda. I wonder if Jamaican want to be led by a white Jamaica Labour Party leader, as the Labour Rights has stood up to say we can't be led by a white Mark Golden. Even though it's the same Jamaicans that queued up at the US and British embassy to get a visa to go and clean old white people's shit. Can't love old white people shit, you know. It's the same Jamaicans who queue up for a farm work card to go and work on some treacherous conditions on white people's farm in Farid. You know, sister, when I have a priority wrong. When you don't mind enslaving yourself for the white man of Farid. White is white, regardless of which country they're in, isn't it? Descendant of the slaves or descendant of the slaves in whichever country we are. The slave master descendant or the slave master descendant in whichever country they are. You all are not making much sense. You all are not making much sense. On one hand, you're pulling down Mark Golden because of his whiteness and his culture. And on the other hand, you're pushing up Ann Vaz because of her whiteness and her culture. Don't you see the confusion there, members of the Jamaica Labour Party? Don't you see how you're even confusing your very own chicken? Don't confuse me, you know. Given how me know no love queue up to go clean all white people's shit, it confused me. You see how no on social media with the blatant racism. When you know a damn fair opportunity to go to the white man country, labor rights. I'm awaiting to see the Prime Minister's new cabinet, if there will be a shuffle and a spun around in order to meet the titans of the People's National Party, which they will be facing across the dispatch box. Lord, be there at 1/4 hour. Globalists. And I make Liberate confuse me further. Liberate confuse me enough for one day. Because it is confusion. And if I was a child, I try not to listen to labor rights. Because I would be confused. Why Ann Vaz matters, but Mark Golden does not. They're both white, aren't they? They're both descendants of the slave master, aren't they? I'm confused. Anyway, my peeps, thank you all very much for being here this morning. If you're new to the program, please give us a subscription and a follow. So when we go live, you certainly will get our notification. Make sure you hit the like button if you have not yet. Thank you very much for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as always. Please do join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Me not talk to you, Sammy. Go on about your business. Please do join us back this evening for the people's point of view when Sammy will return to be more educated when he returns this evening to watch the show. Even if Sammy doesn't follow, it doesn't matter. Our interest here and our main purpose here is to make sure Sammy learns something, is to make sure labor rights learn something, is to provoke labor rights to think, is to declog the brains of clogged up brain labor rights. So we don't mind if you don't follow, as long as you're learning. That would be beneficial for us. What we want to do is to be able to think, is to be able to look at an apple and say, oh, that one is an apple. And look at a pear and say, that is a bloody pear. Or look at an orange and a tangerine and say, oh, they're both citrus. They're from the same family. Thank you. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Oh, thy peace, God of my salvation.
Oh, before I go, there is a doctor on YouTube and TikTok that I want you to follow because he gives many healthy tips and healthy information. His name is Dr. Orlando Thomas. Dr. Orlando Thomas. He's on TikTok. He's on TikTok and he is on YouTube. You would want to follow him to get a lot of tips and healthy information about how you can combat a lot of illnesses and ailments and how you can, what you can do to help ourselves. So the name is Dr. Orlando Thomas. You can follow him on YouTube, on TikTok. There's a lot of good information and his platform. Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Oh, thy peace, the God of my salvation. Because the mouth of the sinful and wicked is open. Rastafari. Come with I. Rastaman throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Not a people there. Make a man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Only when man like Marcus Garvey speak, wicked men would I hear. Hear not hear. Instead of that, they only sit aside and rob and cheat and not press the poor. Make up what I seen to. Make a man throw one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a plan. Make a man throw one stone.
Oh yes, me late to park today, but me go as soon as we done the live. You don't know me gone overtime to the 1 hour and over me normal show time.
If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? Did they them can sell out Rasta and sell it out? I sell out Babylon. They give man show one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. They give man show one stone and they bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. If Rasta make a progressive move, wicked men are red. How they want to see? They can sell out Rasta. I sell out. I sell out Babylon. Just stop on the front. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what a black thing. You might throw a stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. You have eyes to see, let him see. You have ears to hear, let him hear. What a prophet must say. President Mandela was in prison for 20 odd years. And he leave from the prison and take the seat of the president. Stone one. Big man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Oh, what's a black big man throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men. Rastaman throw one stone and it bring a bad feeling to all wicked men.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.